What's going on, everyone? Goddrifter here, and welcome back to another live stream. And yes, you see the title correctly. It is known as what? Lowrider. Yes, the show that I actually wanted to make, but I didn't have enough time for it because, well, there are other games I want to play. So, no, this is not one of the games I'm planning to um, show off today. It'll probably be tomorrow. Reason being, because no, there is one more game that I actually want to show off, and also spoiler warning is Jump Force. It's basically the game that that I bought for Christmas. Anyway,
Our fearless leader.
thank you, Margaret. But I need you to actually call in one of my.
Hi there. What can I do for you?
I need you to call
You
the
got a
right one.
nice fleet, boss.
Can you please stop interrupt me while I'm talking? Anyways, I need you to grab one of the newer
Your
cars that
personal
just got
vehicle is
here.
being brought up now.
Thank you. Alright.
Remember, I'll do anything as long as it's legal.
It is legal. You're calling my car after all. Assistants these days. Anyway. Anyone what car I've called? Well, I said newly acquired, so there's that. Uh, you guys wondering what car it is? It is, this thing. My very own Volkswagen Beetle. And you wondering, how in the world did I get this car in the first place? Well, it's quite simple. The only way to get this car is is you actually did all the uh, kinds of music missions. Now, here's a bit of a warning. Um, Most likely, in order to do these missions require you to actually be in a CEO, and it takes 8 real life hours to do another one. So yeah, it's not in-game, but it's literally real life time, which I don't get why they made this a lot longer than expected. I mean, then again, it could have been 8 hours in-game, so there's that. Um, He's wondering how many hours is in-game versus our time. Here, literally, our hours is more like minutes to this game. So, anyway.
That's right, baby girl. I'm trapped inside the white lines and I feel so fine.
Yeah, don't worry, it's just a regular old Beetle, just driving in. Anyway, without any further ado, let's go on to the Lowrider garage, and we can not remove, we can actually review actually, here's like, I know it's gonna take a long time, but I'm gonna review the entire fleet, and right after that, I'm gonna give this one a score, and I'm gonna sell them all because then again, some things need some upgrades. Not to mention, I need to actually reconsider of owning a lot of lowriders nowadays. Now you're wondering, why are there only 9 lowriders instead of 10? Well, plain and simply, I reviewed the Voodoo like no less than a couple of months ago. So, right up on the next up on the list is probably something you didn't expect. Uh, if you're wondering what that is, well, no, that's not it. There we go. It is right here, right next to the Voodoo, is the Buccaneer. Hmm. Now, for those that are wondering, what is this car based off of? Well, it is actually it can actually be a bit confusing, but if you guys are wondering, no, it's not based off of the GTO. In fact, it's based off of the 1964 to
Hey, you my dude,
1966
right?
Buick
What's going
Riviera,
on, brother?
which,
What's going on,
was I
my dude?
wondering, is basically it actually is the vehicle that literally screams gangster when you're in. And not to mention, you feel like a gangster when you stand right next to it. Now here's the thing. This is by far one of the lower cars that I can actually
Hit
see
me up on Life
in
Invader
game
later.
without any
That ain't
camber
good.
attached to it
Yes, this is he. Yes.
or
Oh,
camber involved.
that's great. Yeah, yes. I can come anytime for an interview.
It's just, of course, takes a picture of my own car. Thank you. Oh, and I forgot, this is probably the second longest vehicle to, let's say, the third longest car to be converted to a lowrider. Second being the Voodoo, and Verse, and first being another vehicle.
How's it, brah? Whoa!
No worries.
Busy as usual. Hey, how come you never got back to me about that thing?
Damn, you
Fuck
already know.
me!
Calm yourselves. Ay ay ay. Alright. So if anything, this was the third this was actually the third most expensive lowrider you can actually convert this to.
You gotta
First
free my
being
mind.
the Silver Turbo Custom, and second being the
Oh my!
Voodoo Custom. But here's the thing. This
Hey,
car can be converted to a lowrider, whereas the Voodoo's for 90, this one's 400, so it is a 90 grand difference.
How you doing? Slow, holy.
Not to mention, it actually does sound good. Except for the fact that right now it's snowing, so basically, drifting all day, I guess? I don't know. Anyways, uh, let me park here for a moment. Um, the moments that ended up driving around this car, uh, for example, let's take the original Buccaneer for example. It has this dragster type look when you actually drive around, and you have the, and most likely since the Arena War update, you can actually do wheelies now. Um, some of the wires can wheelie, uh, but the rest of the lowriders can't, and it's for a pretty good reason. Because they're lowriders, they're meant to be like a show type of car. Hold on. Oh, and yeah, and that kind of is usually the problem when it comes to driving on lowriders. Uh, the damage, the damages these type of cars disease are ridiculously expensive, and I'm not talking like, I'm not talking Jesus is expensive. No, I'm talking this kind of almost rivals the Arena War, the special card. the what's it called, the special cars that you get every now and then. Because, jeez, those special cars, 8 grand for an actual. Jeez, I didn't even drive near you. Anyway. Alright. Now when it comes to this car specifically, I don't think I've done a lot to it because I obviously ran out of money when I tried to actually you know, try to do everything else as the lowrider. So yeah, I didn't spend that much money because the only thing that's much more expensive than doing the engine upgrades is the entire entertainment system itself. Just to rip money out of your pocket. Don't worry, it's not as expensive as the rest of the. Well, this is probably the second most expensive, and I already know what the cheapest one is. So there's that. Vehicles. I'm pretty sure I. There we go. I'm pretty sure I closed all the doors and stuff. Oh wait, never mind. I did it. Okay. So how can you get this car? Well, there's 2 ways. You can either buy from the actual website, or you can actually steal one and store it, and then just go to Benny's. That's about it. Or you can actually do everything at once. You know, storing one of these, storing it to your office garage, and then get ready to a lowrider. That's literally as simple as 1, 2, 3. But and again, depending on how much money you have, it pretty much will work out just fine. No worries, I have not played GTA in over a year. There are 3 more, but basically I haven't actually what's that called? Actually, if I remember correctly, there are what's that called? Nope, that's the plane's website. There you go. Benny's. It's these 3. The Manana, the Peyote, and the Glendale. On the other hand, you have 2 new off-road variants of these 2, and then this one is a race car custom. I know that for sure. Alright, let's move on to the next. I knew I should have like raised it instead of like lowered it. Alright. It's time to move on to the next car on the list. And if I remember correctly, is the oh, great. If I remember correctly, let me check the Benny's list. Okay, that one doesn't count because this one has a donk version in the other update. So literally, it would have been next. So I probably would do that instead. If I remember correctly, it's right there. All right, it's time for me to grab the G body. Alright, this is an interesting take on the G body because if you play GTA 4, the Saber was one of these, and it's not this one. It's actually a Monte Carlo, which was the one that's from 1985 to 87, if I remember correctly. But this one is quite different because, um, if anything, this is based off the Buick Grand National, or in the Lowrider's case, a Buick Regal. Now there are differences between each G-body, and depending on what brand it is, you need to make sure you see literally the back window and the taillights, because usually the one that's literally no different than the other. It's the Monte Carlo and the Grand Prix. The colorless, on the other hand, uh, has a little bit has the combination of both the Monte Carlo and Regal taillights. The only difference being the taillights being a little bit thinner and it's a little bit longer, if I remember correctly. Regal, on the other hand, is full on rectangle taillights. And it is no different than in a lowrider. Also, this is alright, by that I meant this is probably the lowest one so far. I meant to say that the Buccaneer is the second lowest. The reason is because it doesn't have any camber. This, on the other hand, has camber. To the point where literally I can just lower this and you hear scraping. Okay. So how much does it cost to actually convert this to a lowrider? Well, it's a pretty simple price of 350 grand. And I just crashed into a Mini Cooper. Oh god dang it! Hold on, let me close my window real quick. I always hate that smell. All right. Anyway. Now, there are many things to go on with this vehicle, but this is by far the only multi-car I know that literally comes with a V6. So there's that. Ooh, excuse me. Come on, valet, just turn off the car. Alright. Vehicle, noise, all. Alright, it's a little bit more, a little bit more done to it. So obviously V6 twin turboed, matching paints and the high side drugs as possible. Right. There we go. Oh, and this thing, oh, well, there's only one flaw with this vehicle. You're gonna see it in any moment, actually. Really, Loki? Really? Come on now. Already deal with that. That's a little, not much.
Oh, suck it, man.
Okay, usually it's,
Slick ride.
huh?
Ooh, wait. That's a ride.
Yeah, just give me a moment. It's
This is
wait.
a joy.
Yeah, the only problem with this vehicle is the fact that when you going over curves are literally things like, except for that thing's a full on. Okay, I'm good. Now what was I saying? Oh yeah, the only way they actually the only problem this car has is literally like you can't go over sidewalks or any curves without getting the car stuck. But that only happens when you lower the car. You know what I mean? No, citizens, it's just a scraping lowrider. We're good. And
What's good?
then again, I'm surprised that they actually. Uh, now I thought about it. When it comes to actually owning a lowrider, kind of it's kind of therapeutic. It's kind of like therapy in one way. But mostly it's just there. This is um. Now when I first heard of Lowrider DLC, I was actually surprised that they did Lowrider as well. Although there are some good apples, some are questionable at best. Minivan, but more, more, more than that, there are a lot of things that are actually interesting. For example, the Moonbeam Custom is probably one of the bigger cars to actually being in an update, and and I actually had festive colors because why not? This was originally gold, then blue, and now it's green. It was red. Okay. I can't even do it correctly without driving around. You don't want to? Yes, those are bills that are literally as my ones. Huh. Well, didn't see that coming. Uh, anyways, the movie custom is probably one of the bigger choices that uh, I probably have. Well, it's not even decent, but it can be relaxing just driving around in a van with hydraulics and Dayton's and either Dayton's or Zeniths. It depends on someone's definition of wired wheels. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to the lowrider scene, you can see them driving around Dayton, on Dayton's, Zeniths, uh, big hubs, Kragers. No matter if it's actually wired wheels, then you're doing it correctly, along with the thin white tire wall. God damn it. Alright. Huh. Alright. Let's go with the actual detail on the car. Now it looks black, but in actuality it's literally a dark green. Uh, okay, so there is nothing done to the engine. Uh, what I do know so far is the fact that this car is very bass liking. For those wondering what in the world bass liking is when you have a lot of speakers on your car to the point where you wondering how in the world you have not gone deaf yet. Anyway, so how much does it cost to actually uh, build up this van? Well, it's cheaper than the other lowriders, but it's more expensive. It's a little bit less expensive than the what's it called? It's a little bit less expensive than the what's it called? It's a little bit less expensive than the next car, which, well, as I'm wondering, it's around 370 grand, which you can actually turn this behemoth into an actual lowrider. But there is one flaw behind this vehicle, and I can see it, you can see it too, and that is the fact that this car is not even a lowrider, to be completely honest. It's more of a van on backs, you know. Like, even though the car is a lowrider, it would have been a better choice if we picked something else or have something new for a change. I mean, having that Chevrolet Astro van is good and all, but there are better vehicles to turn to lowriders than, well, one of these or the minivan. Anyway, let's move on to the next vehicle.
Ain't shit. On my way to this Prop 208 rally. I'm trying to get my fucking snort on.
They need to calm down with that mess. It's already snowing. Alright. Ugh. Alright. So let's see what's up next. Hmm. Next question is the next vehicles. Oh, okay. How interesting. And the car is right there. Alright. Alright. Meet the Primo Custom. Probably one of the more modern cars to actually turn to lowriders. Now, for those who are wondering, it is based off the Cadillac Aliante, but there are also a bit of Toyota in there as well. So, what kind of vehicle is it? Well, it's kind of a take. It's kind of itself a take on the lowrider scene with a modern vehicle. And they need to chill. What in the world? So, what kind of vehicle is it exactly? Well, it is one of the mini sedans to actually turn into one of the two sedans that are in the game that can actually be converted to lowriders. The second being the Glendale, which I don't have anymore.
Hey, buddy. We're still running tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I know you.
No, I've got a seminar out of town.
Alrighty then. Goodness, I used to do this before. Oh, oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. Now, this is by far uh one of the more expensive lures to actually convert this to. Only being being only 10 being only 10 grand more expensive than the Buccaneer, the vehicle itself is not bad. Wait, no, actually, no, scratch that. This thing costs around 390 grand. This thing is beat. I know, like, okay, okay, I know the newer lures are much more expensive, but then again, there's something to be said about this Primo. So, why they picked the Primo, the Lowrider? Well, it's quite simple. Because of the culture it has. I mean, trust me, if anything, I would expect the Emperor than the Primo of all things. But not always can have the same exact things. Now, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So just like the Moonbeam Custom, this thing is also a base vehicle. Now, if you guys wondering why am I saying base vehicle, I'm not talking about like stock cars. I'm talking BASS type vehicle. Reason being because this thing, I think this has a V8, V6, I don't know, with speakers and speakers and speakers. Yeah, there's so many speakers in this car that you're wondering how in the world did the glass had not breaking just by listening to music. And apologize for the stick drift. Um, so yeah, is this thing a true lowrider? Well, the answer is yes. Why? Simple. A lot of cars, if you didn't know, can be lowrider if it hasn't been done yet. Now, when it comes to a true lowrider, this thing is basically from the 90s, which, if you guys do not know, in the 90s there are a lot of people that are converting the cars to lowriders. Obviously adding Dayton's to the car, and not to mention Dayton's hydraulics. You name it, they got it in the 90s. Alright, let's move on to the next vehicle. Alright. Okay. Now the next one, the first lowers update is the only Chino Custom. Now, this is by far this is probably one of my favorites out of the six first lowriders they added into the game. So, you guys wondering, what is this car based off of? Well, it's actually quite simple. It's based off of two variants of the car. One of them being a Ford Thunderbird, and the other one being a Lincoln Continental. Came up Civic. This is based off of the Lincoln Continental Mark III, which if you guys didn't know, if you know your history, is the car that is the same car that John F. Kennedy got shot in. So a little bit of history for you. Anyway, now what kind of vehicle? So you already Okay, why is this one a two? Why is this the two-door variant? Well, to tell you the truth, the Lincoln Continental came in two forms: the coupe and a four-door in his thing. The four-door is a bit longer. Oh, and yes, this is by far the longest lowrider. Just saying. Anyway, so how many cubic inches does this Lincoln Continental have? Well, for a car with a massive engine, it surely is lacking of power. How much to be exact? Well, try putting over let's see. Well, to put it simply, try putting around 527 of cubic inches of the actual vehicle, and hello, welcome to the live stream. Doing a very special thing on GTA. Basically, reviewing all the lowriders that I had. Uh, right now, I'm just getting to the first batch of lowriders, and then I'm gonna move on to the next couple more. Uh, now, what was I? Oh yes. Oh, jeez. Anyway, yeah, anyway. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So in terms of how many cubic inches this thing has, try adding 547 cubic inches into a big old luxury car. But unfortunately, is no. Now, unfortunately, due to the fact is the lack of power from a powerful V8, which keep in mind is almost around 7.8 liters. I wouldn't be surprised if someone actually tries to make a lot more power for the Lincoln Continental than it ever has. See, that's probably one of the dream cars that I want to build a lot. I want to build the most. Basically, the only two Fords that I can actually respect. And one of them isn't even a Ford; it's a Lincoln. This and the this and the Boss 302 from 1960s. So you're wondering, how much would it cost to actually convert my own Lincoln Continental to a lowrider? Well, this is actually a simple question, and you will be surprised that this is by far the cheapest vehicle to actually convert to a lowrider. And I'm not kidding when I say that. So how much to be exact? Well, try 185 grand. Alrighty then. Um, so yeah, in terms of the vehicles, uh, actually what I end up reviewing. Where's my flashlight? There it is. Yeah, this is by far my greatest creation of them all. So basically, it's a full-on red. I see. It's literally a pearl red, and not to mention, uh, interior is a little tan with tan with red streaks and a red steering wheel, along with a fully built engine, just the way I like it. Alright. Alright, this is interesting. Let's see what's next. Alright, I guess that's the last of the, what the hell? What was I saying? Oh yeah. So that's the last batch of the original Lowriders update. So, if you guys missed the first one, it'll be Voodoo, Buccaneer, uh, Faction, Moonbeam, Primo, and Chino. That's probably the only 6 that are from that update. Now, well, other than the minivan, there are a couple more to be precise. And to be more specifically, let me tell you what these. Let me tell you what the other ones are. So these are from the Lowriders Classic update, which is. Let me clear my voice, clear my throat real quick. That would be the. Oh boy. um. This does not count because that's a dunk. That's not a lowrider. Um. Slam Van, Tornado, Virgo, Minivan, and Saber Turbo. Now, to be completely honest, the minivan is kind of like the Moonbeam, except for the fact that it's a little bit newer, and it looks like a Sagamon just trying to be cool. Which, it depends on your definition of one of those. But what I do know is the fact that I know what car to test out first, and the car I want to test out first. Sorry about that. Now here's the thing about the Lowriders update. Usually when it comes to the newer cars, they're usually on top. And yeah. So we're gonna be starting off with the Slam Van. And my Slam Van, it's right here. Well, here's the thing. The car has been done. It's just that I had to change it up for a car meet that I went to. Okay, didn't realize the Slam was gonna be this fast. Okay, let me just put it in. Okay, so those are wondering what is this truck based off of? It's based off of the 1950s Ford F100 trucks, and to be more specific, it's the short bedded version. So what makes this truck very special? Well, there's one thing you can actually do to it, and that is a resto mod. Now, for those wondering what in the world a resto mod is a new car, is an old car with modern technology attached to it. So basically old car, new parts. Anyways, this is first off, this is my interior. Um, basically the bed of the vehicle is kind of non-existent. Um, and also with a modern engine. And last but not least, if you're wondering if this thing has hydraulics, well, here's your answer. Ow. I'm okay. My poor truck. Okay. What in the world? It's Blazing Cross Tag Battle, first game ever played of the series. Well, you're kinda right. This is actually my first. That's actually. Wait, no, scratch that. Well, unless you count the mobile game, then. Yeah, you would say that's probably my first ever Blaze Blue game. Well, I would say my first, but I have played the original before, so we're good.
What can the best mechanic in LS do for you?
Alrighty then.
That should do the trick.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Anyways,
Look out!
now does this car? So that's fine. Is this truck meant to be a lowrider? Well, answer yes and no. Yes, being that you can actually load this car to the ground without any problems, but a no because it's not a lowrider. It's a little slam truck. Now, now there are people. Now the ones that actually made the lowrider made trucks like these before. It's just that they're known by dancing mini trucks, which the actual bed of it can actually move around and hop, but that's about it. Okay, so alright, so overall, probably one of the faster rides you can actually get in this game. What? It's not really fast, but it's just quick. Anyway, so over the next vehicle. Honey water. Oh, goodness. Now, if I remember correctly, one of these cars is next. Okay, I know I said that about the minivan, but the Virgo. Do I have a Virgo in this garage? Oh. Oh. Okay. Alright, let's get this vehicle on the road. It is I! Classics! Anyway, this vehicle is known as the Virgo Classic Custom. And for those not wondering, wait, Virgo Classic? Where's the original Virgo? Well, to put it simply, he's in luxury motorsport. Just, uh, quickly, it should be right around here. That's the original Virgo. But that was under Albany. This, on the other hand, is under Dundery, which is, Lincoln. Okay. Let's move on to the actual review of this car. I guess we'll do for now.
Why do you keep calling me?
Okay. Alright then.
I thought we settled this. I sent it online.
Alright, so this is...
Bye, and quit calling me.
Okay, this is actually not a bad looking car for what it is. And for those that are wondering, well, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is indeed a... Well, here's the thing. Half of it is a Ford, but the... Jesus. Let me just... Well, so that way...
I'm feeling okay.
There's some composition. If you're wondering what this car is based off of, half of it is based off a 1970, a late 70s Thunderbird, while the other half being a 70s Mercury Cougar. To be specific, it was a 1977 Mercury Cougar, which at that year the car has gone bigger, and along with a lower compressed, not to mention a lowered litered engine, the sales tanked. I know that for sure.
Call me this weekend!
Alright. Huh. Okay, and yep. Back in. Oh, you son of a gun. You did not just hit me.
Holy cow! Damn it! What the hell?
Motherfucker! Ah! You
Where do you think you're going? Back here.
motherfucker!
Back, I was in the middle of a review, but you decided to actually just get in the way of the car, huh?
What's the problem?
Jesus! My.
You snap. And I kind of learned a lot. Oh, I ended up with that one person actually hit me for some reason.
Whatever.
Grab, grab. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, come on. Oh, I just got this. I just bought this car out. This thing cars don't stay shut up a lot. Enemy! Oh, that's not good.
I wondered if I could restore.
Uh-oh. Alright, there we go.
Whoa! What on earth?
Ay, ay. I apologize for that. Did not meant to actually do that at all. But the good thing is, I can't go out with this car anymore. Because apparently traffic did not see any bright colored lowriders, and they're applying to what color the car is. Anyway, well, I already know what to review next, and that's this thing. This is pretty much a classic, and most people did not realize they can actually do this with the car either.
Christ alive!
Okay. Now, for those who are wondering, what in the world is this car? Well, to put it simply, this is a half and half. Well, what in the world a half and half is? Half a car is 1 year, but the half car is the other year. Yet they're the same exact vehicle, and not to mention it's the same model of the vehicle, just in different years. Alright. Huh. Alright then. So you're wondering what this car is based off of? Well, it isn't half and half. So half of it is a 1955 Bel Air, while the other half is a 1957 Bel Air, but with 1958 parts. So, for example, if you're wondering, for example, the taillights are a different year than the 57 or the 55. But at the same time, a lot of people had turned cars like these into lowriders. And again, I wish there was a Voodoo Mark II, which for those that are wondering what car would be, simple. It would have been a 64, a true 1864, instead of a 62, because why not? Anyway. Oh, and best part about this,
Did anyone else see that?
that's right, you're gonna have to top down.
Dear God!
Alright. I'm guessing this is the second to last vehicle. Now you're wondering, what's the last vehicle that I'm going to review? Simple. Think of one car that I have not reviewed yet. You guys choose, what the, Slime Van? I did the Slime Van a couple of minutes ago. No, it's the Sabre Turbo Custom. Which is actually not a bad looking car. Anyway. So, why in the world am I in this vehicle? Well,
Bring your tambourine over and we'll like rock out.
I'll just park where the park where the other gray cars are.
You're awful! That car is smoking.
Hmm. And have I done it? Yes, I did. Alright.
No, I didn't tell him he could do that. What? You think I'm an idiot? I'm gonna tell an 8-year-old that he can dig gold in the backyard?
Okay. So in terms of what this car is based off of, well, to put it simply, it's based off of the 1970s Oldsmobile 442, or in the other cases, a Oldsmobile Cutlass. Now, here's the thing. The funny thing is the fact that this car actually has returned in GTA. This car was in GTA San Andreas, and it returned in this specific type of vehicle. And long story short, the actual vehicle was an Easter egg due to the fact that excuse me, that the Saber,
Yeah, I got your email. Look, I'm down for whatever.
the green, and not to mention, is you had if it was okay. Now here's the thing. Let me turn down the volume real quick. There we go. Now there is an Easter egg behind this. But simply, the reason why they had this as a car as this specific design for the other vehicle, since that one's since GTA 4 had the 80s variant, rather than the 90s variant. Well, GTA 5 went with the 70s variant. Okay, so since I haven't shown off the entire car yet. So as you can see, no speakers, nice interior, and a actually a really cool engine, and not to mention the wheels to match the entire thing. Alright, so it looks like I'm done reviewing all the cars. So how much are these cars worth? Well, to put it simply, this is the this was the most expensive lowrider until the newer lowriders came out. So you're wondering how much did it cost you? Oh gosh. How much did it cost to actually make those lowriders? Well, so basically the highest pricing of these cars is worth this one in terms of converting it to a lowrider is literally around $4,000, was around $400,000. Well, not 400,000, $390,000. So yeah. Anyway, so in terms of what I rate the vehicles, all right, let's start off. was the Buccaneer. Due to the fact the car itself is actually pretty cool, and it's low, and actual it has that actual rake fixed. The vehicle itself I can give is around 7 out of 10. Not only the fact that you can actually not only turn this into either a coupe or a convertible or soft top or hard top, the vehicle itself can be interesting. Up next is the faction. I'm gonna give faction a 6 out of 10 due to the fact that although it is an interesting car, not to mention being a G body, I prefer the original to the fact that you don't might not have any problems with that specific one. And not to mention, it's probably the lowest of the lowriders. Being able to scrape all the way downtown. Anyway, up next is I think it's the Moonbeam. Moonbeam gets a 3. Why not scratch that? Um, 4 for every big speaker. So yeah. Um, Anyways, yeah, it's a 4 out of 10. Reason is because, in my opinion, that's not a lowrider. It's a van on air suspension, and you can actually hop around on it. And not to mention, I have a problem with this vehicle earlier that it won't hop when I want it to. Like I literally hold X and then let go of X, but it didn't work. In fact, it literally just raises and lowers. That's about it. Um, Next is the Primo. Primo, I'll give it 8 out of 10 because it's one of the many lowriders that you can actually drive around in a 3-wheel motion. But it can be a little bit troublesome due to the fact um, that you can do it once, but apparently you can do it again, just that it will be a lot harder this time. And that's certainly not least on the regular lowriders, the Chino. The Chino obviously gives me, I can give this a 10 out of 10. Reason being, it's probably one of the most well done lowriders that you can actually get with this car. Not to mention, like the Buccaneer, you can actually make this a um, what's it called? You can actually make this a hard. You can either make this a hard top, a soft top, uh, either also a coupe or convertible. And not to mention there is a history behind the Lincoln Continental anyway, so there's that. Laura Classic Customs. Obviously I'll get that van to 0 because seriously, who converts a van to a lowrider? Slam van. I can give this a 9 out of 10 due to the fact that you can easily make this a resto mod and it will still be clean either way. Although it looks a bit rusty, it's still clean. Uh, Up next is the Virgo. Virgo is actually interesting because this is the first ever vehicle that has 2 different Ford companies uh, in order to make one vehicle. One is obviously Ford, and the other one's a Mercury. Same thing with Lincoln. Mercury is another car company that most people don't know about. It was one of Ford's performance division until they got discontinued. And they're also famous for the front engine, front wheel drive Mercury Cougar from the 90s. So yeah, I'll give this one an 8. Um, like the I think I won them a 9. Um, like the Scion van, I gave this one a 9 because well I would say a 10, but then again that also belonged to the Voodoo. Um, so okay, okay. In actuality, I'm going to give this one a 9 due to the fact that Unfortunately, due to the lack of a actual hard top instead of a soft top, and not to mention this being convertible only, it can only get up so high. And speaking of high, this is the only vehicle that can actually be raised and had not have any problems. And last but certainly not least, um, the Class A Sabre Turbo Custom. I'm gonna give this one a 10 because not only this thing is competitive in terms of racing, but can actually um, have this vehicle around for God knows how long, and it still doesn't miss you. It's like, wait, how long has it actually been driven this car? And not to mention, this is probably one of the only competitive lowriders you can actually use in racing. Um, oh great. Yep, yeah, I have stick drift on the on the left stick now. All right. So without any further ado, it's time for me to sell them. Start with the Buccaneer and see how much that usually costs. Now, here's the thing. I'm actually gonna drive myself to Benny's. So that way, I wouldn't have to grab my Weevil, drive all over the place just to find my own garage, and yeah, that would've been it. I need to calm down. Although it is fun having lowriders, at some point you have to let these lowriders go, because well, you never know. You may need money. You might need to get upgrades for a certain part of your grinding experience,
What am I doing
and
for you?
not to mention, these cars are a lot fun to drive than I ever had.
She's fixed.
She's fixed, but unfortunately I have to sell them. And as you can see, 429 grand for what in order to sell one of these. This thing's a hard, it breaks my heart because those lowriders have been there since literally one of the and not to mention I actually built these lowriders for cheap, like no joke. In one of the weeks, I think it was when the Pariah was
You need something, huh? One of your
was a
rides?
podium
Let me
vehicle.
know.
Uh, it was also came with the traditional having
I'll bring it to you.
70% of
Okay,
lowrider
I got stuff to do.
of Benny's conversion cars. So that includes lowriders as well. So I'm like, wait, I can convert lowriders for cheap now? Sick. Alright. Up next is my my faction custom.
What you looking for?
Wait, I think that Buccaneer was I think that was the one I got from the street. Oh, never mind. Okay. 434 grand. Alright then. 429, 434. Hmm. Okay, I'm just gonna wait a little bit more because obviously a there is a time that you can actually have to wait before in order to call your
I'm on the
vehicle's good.
clock. What you want? Some wheels?
Next movie, 30 seconds. I mean, then again, I was planning on selling the malls very soon, right after I've done all the Lowrider episodes. So, long story short, it's gonna be one empty garage that I can actually store cars in. Actually, if I wanted to, if there's one vehicle I can replace in terms of it being a lowrider, it would have been the Moonbeam with the
It's coming at you.
it's called a Picador, which is the Chevrolet El Camino. Oh, that for sure. And then um, what's that called? And then in terms of the minivan, that's kind of I could have easily replaced that with the I would say the I would say the Emperor because the Emperor is easily one of the most requested vehicles to actually being converted as lowriders.
Lay it on me. What am I doing?
Yes, I'm basically selling it to you for cheap. Well, not for cheap because worked so hard on this vehicle. 436. Jeez. Okay. So yeah, I'm selling all my lowriders just because. Yeah. I didn't suspect that selling 3 of my own lowriders would have made me at least 1.3 million. So literally, it was like
What you need, boss? Some
every
wheels?
single
I can
time
bring
I
'em
want to
around.
actually, uh, yeah, the Moonbeam. It was the Primo. Okay. So yeah, like literally every time I done a casino heist, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get myself another lowrider, and then I keep getting one of each, so that way it would have been like perfect. But nope. So I had still one of the lowriders, which was a minivan. Excuse me, because literally a minivan on hydraulics and
It's on the
dangerous
way.
is kind of like a Sagamon that tried to be hip. It's like, sorry, you're not hip. No one says that anymore. Ay, ay. Oh my goodness, that's a little rat. Oh no, remind me not to use that word again. Oh great, cringe factor. I'm a 90s baby, 80s baby. Oh great. Oh come on, come on, come on! Crap, I thought I was gonna make it. Oh well. Benny's like,
Quick,
what are you
what you need?
doing with all these lowriders? I'm selling it to you. Why? I need more space.
How's that look?
Jesus. 476 grand? Jeez. It's a good thing that car was fully detailed, otherwise it wouldn't make any sense at all. Anyway, 1.7 mil. Uh-huh. Hey, Kodo, like Valen GT, Perfect Shafter, Rosa, and Demachi Exemplar? What kind of cars are those? LS? Wait, it's on the traffic cars, isn't it? Hmm. Ay, ay. That's kind of a
You
good
calling
thing
for some
that
wheels? I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up.
kind of good that they actually switched up his what's that called? It's kind of a good thing they actually switched up his method of the cars that he wants to steal, because a lot of people are getting sick and tired of
I'll
like
get there as soon as I can.
trying to actually make money just by stealing vehicles that are very common. You can easily store. And it's like, okay, then we'll change that. It's like, okay, thank you. So they're gonna be stealing cars that are literally way too hot, way too hot to actually give to you. So instead, you gotta make us actually do the same exact thing. The only difference is being the fact that you actually want us to actually steal them. Oh, yeah, that's about it. Okay. This thing is
Tell
long,
me
so
what you want.
there's that. Whew. Comes on. $5.52. Jeez. Alright. Long story short.
I'm so sorry you don't take my offer.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because he keep calling me. Jeez. Anyway. Alright. It's time to grab a mechanic.
You're through to your garage. You, need me to bring you a ride?
Even though it was a 9 out of 10, I really did not like selling cars that were dear to me. But then again, I do need the money, so there's that.
I'll bring it by.
Alright, there we go. Okay, I'm good. Oh, and the best part is these dang wheelies. Alright.
What am I doing for you?
Then. Okay, didn't realize that. Wait, 50. Jeez. Okay. My question is, why didn't I sell my car sooner than later? It would have been a lot more helpful if that was the case. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait a couple of seconds because it's kind of obvious you didn't notice that is that most people would prefer to actually
You need something, huh?
keep
One
those
of your rides?
Lowriders, but
Let me
then
know.
again, unlike most people, the reason that people sell those Lowriders is because They're not competitive. They're too slow. They're too short. Their cars are way too.
I'll bring it to you.
Oh my goodness. It's like these cars are way too expensive to maintain. It's like, yeah, I can agree on one thing. They're really expensive, but slow. You forgot that there's a Saber Turbo that's literally competitive in racing and drag races as well. All right.
What you looking for?
Here to sell this, man. What do you suspect? Excuse me. Okay. So 559 grand. Jesus, dude. All right. This is. Okay, then expect myself to earn more than 200. Ay, ay, ay. It's like, how'd you get that money in the first place? I sold all of my lowriders. Oh my goodness.
I'm on the clock. What you want? Some wheels?
Okay. Up next is the Tornado. Alright.
It's coming at you.
There we go.
Lay it on me. What am I doing?
Ah, okay. I was like, wait, how much is this? Oh, 531 grand. Okay, yep, I'm officially a millionaire. It's like, what in the world? Oh my god. Okay, I didn't expect myself to actually sell all my lowers and end up getting this much money. No, it's pretty impressive for lowriders, but
What you need, boss? Some wheels? I can bring them around.
hmm. Now, it's wondering, am I gonna live stream Gran Turismo Sport Car Show? Well, the answer is yes, because trust me, I trust me. There's one thing I know for certain is that all the only time I would not be what's it called? The only time I would not be doing any GTA
It's on the way.
Gran Turismo Sport live stream is if Gran Turismo 7 comes out, and let's just hope I'm just hoping there is actual um like voice chat in the game, because if there isn't, then there's gonna be a problem. I know that for sure. I think that's why a lot of people are actually wanting to buy a PS5. It's because a specific game is gonna be there. So yeah, there's that.
Be quick. What you need?
Okay, and that's the last of them. 573 grand. Worst of history. Alright, so in terms of how much those cards are worth, well, that's how much it's worth. $4.6 million. Holy moly, dude. Okay. But I'm not gonna spend all my money yet. Uh, so alright, it's time for me to actually call in another car. And no, it's not a lowrider. It's just something unique.
You calling for some wheels? I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up. I'll get there as soon as I can.
Okay. Okay, the train just passed by, so I'm good. Go. Alright. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see next. Also follow me on Instagram at Goddrifter247sun and follow me on Twitter at GD27S at Goddrifter247sun. I do have a Discord, it's known as Goddrifter247sun Productions Garage and Museum. And last but certainly not least, I am going to be streaming later today. And also, like the stream of Jump Force will have to wait because I can't disappoint anybody that likes my Gran Turismo Sport content and my car racing content. So, without any further ado, hope to see you guys next time. And this is Goddrifter to sign off, and also have a happy new year. Peace.